Hey guys, in this video, we're going to learn the what, the why, and the how of how to read a nonfiction text. Let's go ahead and dive right into the what. So, what are we trying to accomplish through this mini lesson? Well, our goal for this mini lesson is to construct a foundational knowledge with the three-step process of reading a nonfiction text. And why are we doing this? Well, nonfiction texts will be the premier, if not exclusive, meaning only, type of text we will read this year in social studies. Nonfiction texts can often be challenging and complex. Now, this doesn't mean you can't be successful, it just means you need strategies to support you in your reading, as we will want to approach the reading of a nonfiction text in a different way than we would a novel, for instance. Now, how are we going to do this? Well, guys, there's a three-step process. Step one is to identify. Step two is to scan. And step three is to read. Let's start by reviewing step one, identify. You see, in order for us to effectively read and analyze a text, we need to begin by identifying the reason why the text was assigned in the first place. I mean, I'm not assigning these texts at random. Oftentimes, there's a question we are trying to answer or a topic we're trying to learn more about. Thus, the first thing we must do is make certain we have a clear understanding of that question or topic. So before you even start to read, there are three questions you're going to answer. You're going to answer these questions in your head, meaning you're not going to have to write them down anywhere. You're not going to write the answers down anywhere. You're just going to think of the answers. The first question, what is the topic of the text? Once you've answered that question in your head, you can move on to the next, which is, what do I already know about this topic? And once you've answered that, number three, what is the essential question this text will help me to answer? Now, once you've answered these three questions in your head, you've completed step one, which is to identify, and you're ready to move on to step number two. Step number two is to scan. Ultimately, this scanning process allows you to preview the text before reading it, kind of like seeing a movie trailer before seeing the actual movie, which in turn affords you a chance to construct a foundational familiarity with the text before you even start to read. The first thing you're going to scan, meaning you're going to look for and then quickly read over, is the title. The next thing is going to be the introduction, so you're going to locate the introduction and quickly read it over. You're then going to scan, so locate and then quickly read over any of the headings that you see in the text. And finally, you're going to locate and look over any of the visuals that there might be in the text to support the words of the author. Now, once you've done this, you're ready to move on to step number three, which is to read. In other words, we're ready to really dive into the meat and potatoes of what we're trying to accomplish, which of course is the reading of the text itself. So when you read, you're going to read, of course, top down, left to right, etc. But when you read, there's also two things you're going to do. First, you're going to note all text that is underlined, italicized, or in bold. And you're going to ask yourself, why would the author have underlined, italicized, or put in bold this word, sentence, or passage? I mean, authors aren't doing this randomly. There's a purpose and a point to what they're doing. So pause for a second when you encounter something that's underlined, italicized, or in bold, and ask yourself, why is this word, sentence, or passage so important that it needed to be emphasized through one of these techniques? Next, you're going to be reading only one section at a time, and after each section of the text, meaning from heading to heading, you're going to pause, you're going to look away from your screen, and you're going to ask yourself two questions. You're going to ask yourself first, one, what do I now know about this topic? And two, what is the essential question this text will help me to answer? Now, I know this might seem like it's going to add to the amount of time it takes you to read through these texts, but I can assure you that in a complex nonfiction text, pausing and asking yourself to reflect on what you've learned about the topic, and pausing and reminding yourself about the essential question is really going to help to ensure that you're on the right track and that you're actually getting from the text what you're meant to in order to successfully complete work on the assignment. Now, when you guys are ready, let's go ahead. Let's go back up into the instructions and move on. All right, guys, thanks so much.